This is Music, and this is another black metal themed episode of Tapeworm Terror. Now, I know there are lots of very strong opinions out there on what counts as black metal and what doesn't. Ultimately, they're just opinions, and I'm pretty sure that the two cassettes I'm going to show in this video, I think a lot of people will not accept them as black metal proper. At the end of the day, it's their opinion. I respect that opinion, but I also will not make that opinion influence my opinions on what counts as black metal and what doesn't. So there you go, you're warned. Anyways, we're going to have a look at In the Woods, Heart of the Ages, and Nattehimmel, the Night Sky Beckons. To me, these are black metal releases, but there's so much more going on than just black metal, and I think that's why some people have a hard time accepting this as black metal. These are interesting because there's a connection between them. As far as I understand, 2 or 3 of the Nattehimmel guys were also in the Woods, and I think some of them even perform on the In the Woods album here. So it's just a fun little, I guess, connection there. So let's start out by having a look at In the Woods. This is the sort of presentation you get when you first pick it up. I like this cover art. I like the kind of ominous forest, but the purple and white color scheme, which is just refreshing. On the cassette shell itself, we see on side A the same purple and white color scheme, but if we flip the tape, we see a now more familiar black and white color scheme, more familiar from the black metal universe. Same forest probably, just black and white, so now things seem much more dark and ominous, and I quite like that little visual twist there. The J card, so you have the front here, the cover art. On the spine you have the name of the band and the title of the album, and on the back flap you have the catalog code, and you have Soul Cellar Records, their logo here. And if we fold out the J card, we have this kind of black and white color scheme juxtaposed with the purple and white color scheme. I quite like this picture that accompanies the track list. A bunch of people gathering around a bonfire. So you really get that feeling of somebody being in the woods at night. Flipping it around, it's all black and white, dark and ominous. A picture of a forest and what looks like a lake at the bottom as well. Here you have credits, and then you have this little writing, and I don't know if it's some kind of nursery rhyme thing or schoolyard game or something from Norway, but if I translate it into English, it says something along the lines of, I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of not being alive. Am I alive? And then you can tick this box for yes and this box for no. So that's just very interesting, I think. So what are we dealing with musically? To my ears, this is a mix of black metal and doom metal. You have some bona fide kind of doom metal elements every now and then, but a lot of the doomy stuff is really slowed down black metal. You also have a little bit of more faster black metal, and you have lots of these, like I would say familiar black metal musical tropes, like tremolo picking, the kind of cold and strangely harmonic chords and all that stuff. The vocals have the form of tortured screams, which is a very, very common black metal vocal style, but then there's more to it than that. The screams, that's kind of like 50% of the vocals. The other 50% is more like a kind of a quasi-chanting, kind of almost like baritone voice. Not super baritone, but in that neighborhood. And that's very interesting. You also have some more almost atmosphere building female vocals. It's very cool. In one of the songs, you have like a soprano-ish kind of a voice. And normally I don't like soprano, that singing style, but it works very, very well in this particular case. And what's interesting is that she does some kind of bluesy things in that song. Anyways, so there's more to it than just, you know, straight up raw and dirty black metal. There are lots of instrumental interludes and very melodic stuff and some acoustic stuff and atmospheric stuff intertwined with the black metal stuff. Very, very super interesting. To me, it's almost, it's kind of progressive in a way, I would say. It's like a musical journey. There's even a Jefferson Airplane cover song. I think White Rabbit is a Jefferson Airplane song. In any case, there's a cover version of a White Rabbit here on this one. So it's a musical journey. I have heard people describe this as beautiful, which is not a descriptor you typically associate with black metal, but I do get that because this is a musical journey. Part of the landscape you travel through is black metal, part of the landscape is doom metal, and part of the landscape is progressive rock and other kind of genres. So I think this is super interesting. I think it's a great album. I think fans of like doom metal and gothic metal, I think they might enjoy this if they can stomach the tortured, screamed kind of vocals. I think fans of depressive black metal, although this is not depressive black metal to my ears, but I think fans of depressive black metal might find this interesting too. I think more adventurous fans of progressive rock would be interested to give this a listen. Like you can hear, I really like this album, and to me, it's part of the black metal universe. So, from In the Woods to a Nattehimmel, the Night Sky Beckons. This is the presentation you get when you pick it up. I pre-ordered this one from it's Hammerheart Records. I pre-ordered this one, and I actually received it one day before it was released, so that was pretty cool. Nattehimmel, I think they have an album coming out this year, and yeah, spoiler, I'm definitely gonna buy that album because this is great. It's an EP, or really a demo, I think, demo EP kind of thing with 3 tracks on it. The cassette tape is just simple and tasty, with the band logo and the title and the label logo and the catalog code, and it's the same program on both sides, which makes sense when it's just 3 songs. The J card is pretty simple. I like this cover artwork, by the way, and I like the logo very much too. But I like this cover artwork. It has kind of a Renaissance feel to it, so I think that's pretty cool. The spine here, the logo and title and catalog number. Here you have the back flap with the track list as well. So if you fold it out, all right, pretty simple. This is interesting. This part here with the track list has a bit of an In the Woods vibe to it, wouldn't you say? I think it does. Flipping it around, you have the lyrics and you have some graphics here. You have this kind of star, which also occurs here in the band logo. And then you have an upside down Norwegian flag with a tiny Union Jack in it. And I think that's because one of the members is British, as far as I understand. So, musically, you have kind of like, it's not, well, maybe a little bit related to In the Woods, but it doesn't sound like In the Woods. This obviously sounds a bit more modern. You have some kind of mid-paced tremolo picked parts, and that so it's kind of black metal slowed down a little bit, and it works very well. It's very melodic. I think you have in one of the songs, as far as I remember, you got some more faster blast beaty stuff, but for the most part, it's mid-paced, it's melodic, it's melancholic. The songs are very well composed. The vocals are a combination of the kind of semi-baritone quasi-chant that you also hear on In the Woods, and then some not tortured screamed, but your more typical black metal harsh vocals, the more screechy stuff, if that makes sense. And these 3 songs on here are absolutely fantastic. And if this is an indicator of what the album will sound like, and as far as I understand, the first song, Astrologer, will also appear, on the album. So I'm definitely gonna pick this album up. If you like gothic metal, if you like doom metal, although this is not as doomy as In the Woods, but if you like those styles, more melancholic styles of metal, I think you might enjoy this too. If you like old school Norwegian black metal, I think this one might appeal to you as well. At least give it a listen. If you like, I would not say progressive metal. At least the songs on here are not as progressive as on In the Woods. But if you, I guess if you like progressive metal and you're interested in some black metal, which is a bit more accessible, perhaps, maybe you want to check this out too. Actually, I think if you just want to check out some black metal and you're not that familiar with the genre, this might be a good gateway into the genre. And I would say if you do like progressive black metal, if you like Enslaved, this might also be something you're interested in. There are some elements on this one that are similar to some of the elements that you hear on, post 2000 Enslaved releases. Although, the 2 bands sound very different in the overall scheme of things. But there you go, Nattehimmel, fantastic little EP. Like 3 tracks, a nice way to get into this band, to maybe even get into the black metal genre in general, because this stuff is a bit more accessible than your like really dark and murky true cult black metal. So I would actually recommend both of these fantastic releases. Like I said, to me, they are part of the black metal universe. If you disagree, that's fine, but it's just your opinion, man. There you go. Thanks for watching.